Mr. Professor Green, I think it's an absolute crime that I haven't interviewed you up until now.
I was a bit offended, really. I was like, she don't want to talk to me, does she? She don't care.
I've interviewed all of your mates, and I sat here a couple of weeks ago with Naughty Boy, and I said to him, tell me about your favourite person.
We're not friends.
He said that as well. He said
Cool.
You're a really bad human.
Yeah, he's an idiot. I hate him. I can't stand that. He's the best, man. I love him to bits. He's proper.
He was telling me about the times that you guys go out. And
I hope he didn't tell you too much.
He was quite open with it. I didn't have to try.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he stitched me out a couple of times, as I have him. We enjoy ourselves when we go out. It's nice to meet people like him and Ella and Emily and Jess Glynn and people who go out and I hate boring people, man. There's and people are almost pressured into being boring in this industry now because people are so scared to speak their mind or to get pat looking messed up or whatever. And here I am on 2 hours sleep having a cider.
I'm really impressed, to be honest.
Do you know what? I'm quite surprised at the fact I can even string a sentence together at the moment, but I seem to be doing all right. So much so that they're getting really annoyed with how long all the interviews are taking, because I seem to just be rambling on and on.
That's right, it's cool. Look, I want to know a little bit about being in the industry and those parameters that you're given, because years and years ago, think back to like the Gallaghers and people like that. They had a lot of fun. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, everyone was sort of made to almost behave themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it removes people of personality. And I've got myself in for saying things that I shouldn't and whatever, but never really. Excuse me. Sorry, it's a cider. I like flat cider, but this is fizzy. It's never really with or something that actually sometimes it is malicious. If someone I don't like, it definitely is malicious. Yeah, but whatever. Like I just think speak your mind and as long as you're not too out of turn, you'll be alright. People like people who are honest. I think you can tell when someone's media trained. And the only media training I've ever had was from Lily Allen. And she went, if anyone ever asks you, if there's anyone you'd like to thank for anything, thank Peter Andre for looking after your children. And that ended up in a song.
Amazing. Now look, up until now you've had obviously a bit of a break from putting out some material. You obviously put some out a while back, but album wise I'm talking.
Yeah.
Can we go there with the album? Tell us a little bit about it.
The album this time I wanted to make something really sure and something that I could really sink my teeth into live. And the album I could perform front to back to front. Everything works on stage. And that's a big part of what I do. Like I perform with a live band. We've always used live instrumentation on the albums, and it's quite representative of a place and time. I always like to talk about what's going on in my own little way. There's no love songs. It's not, I think if there were any expectations, some people are probably like, he's married now. Is it all going to be about that? And it isn't. I do touch on the marriage, perhaps not in a way that Millie was most happy with, but I'm a cheeky little... And that doesn't change. And
also then it's honest.
Yeah.
Because marriage isn't always easy and relationships aren't always easy, so you have to be honest.
No, but to be honest, I was just taking the mickey out of some of the stereotypes, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people had problems with the class difference, and I found that weird, because if it was like, if it was that we were, it's weird that classism is still okay, because racism and being homophobic is not. And I don't think it's really any different. It's quite offensive, like the Daily Mail the day after we got married had a headline that said ex-East End drug dealer marries Quality Street heiress, and I got really annoyed because she's not actually an heiress.
But also as well, you've got such a valid point, because at the end of the day, what is class? And who says...
Do you know what class is? And I live by this. My grandmother always told me this. Class is not what's in your bank account. Class is dictated by how you treat people. And I fully believe that. I treat everyone the same until they're a dickhead, and then they get treated different. But
also what makes me laugh is actually, let's just go back to the root of this. You're a musician, and you're here to make music.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you fall in love with.
People get wound up as well, because for ages I stopped doing interviews because I didn't have music. I didn't want to just sit down and be, interrogated about my marriage. It's not really it's nice to have some privacy. It's important. Like, our marriage is ours. It's not a PR stunt. It's not something that we want to monetize or turn into a brand. It's just our marriage. Like, we're two people who like each other, and all these people who are like, oh, I just can't get my head around it. Cool, you're not meant to. You don't have to get your head around it. That's for us to do.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all about, at the end of the day, you got here because of your music and you're very good at it. So that's all that should matter. Yeah, that's all right. Now, look, I want to hear a little bit about those couple of years out from when you did your last album and then to this one, because obviously you've had quite a lot go on in your life. Obviously the marriage thing, but then there's loads of stuff that's happened.
I got hit by a car, I got nicked. There was all kinds of stuff going on. It just, you know what, it made for a good album. I think it gave me some substance, it gave me stuff to talk about, good or bad. It was me living life, and I think it's important to have experiences, otherwise you have nothing to talk about. I don't want to write an album about my tour bus or, you know, sound checking and all the places where I go and never get to see you, because all I see is the Nando's and the venue, and then we drive somewhere else. So I just needed a little bit of time to really gather thoughts and to think about things and to experience a bit.
And also, a lot's changed in the music industry in that time.
Blimmin' hell.
Hasn't it?
Coming back is like, whoa, this is harder than it used to be. Like, I feel for people trying to break new artists, because getting on radio now is a proper chore, man. It's like, there's so much material out, it's so busy, it's really, really hard to get on the radio. So I don't even know what this record's going to do, but I think the most important thing is, you know, whether it does amazingly or it's a bump in the road, is just to continue. Like, I don't want to take that gap again now. I feel cool. I've got loads of new music towards the next album. I'm doing a lot of B-sides and stuff for the singles that I'm doing. There's a track I've done with Fecky and Stormzy called Hugs and Kisses. It's dropping next week. It's going to be part of the Lullaby package. Beyond that, there's a record called Gross that I did with Wretch that Ishi produced, and it's filthy. And it's just nice feeding both sides of things, you know, and just getting back out and getting the response from the music. Like, the response has been really, really positive to I Need Church, to Not Your Man, to Lullaby. It's been nice getting back out and to see people liking the records. It makes my job a little bit easier. And
also the urban world's changed a lot. And obviously your sound has started to evolve as well. Yeah. How have you found that?
Do you know what? It's always been a little bit different to everyone else. I think I've always kind of had my own lane. There's always things that I've done that other people don't really touch on. And I don't like being put in a box anywhere. And I know loads of people say, you know, I don't just make rap, I make music. You know, what I do is rap. You know, I do write a lot of the vocals that I don't sing, because if I sung them, people would be extremely offended by my terrible singing voice. There are things that I can sing, but my range is very small and I stick within it, you know what I mean? But I hope the sound keeps on changing. It'd be boring if it didn't, you know? I think the foundations will always remain the same. But it's nice to experiment and to do different things and to be on things that people don't necessarily expect. I don't think people, after the success of the last album and read all about it, especially, if people don't know me from Jump Off and from back when I used to do mixtapes and freestyles and all that stuff, I don't really think they'd expect me to come out with a record like Hugs and Kisses with Fecky and Stormzy. But that's where I cut my teeth, you know what I mean? That's where I came up. So it's just nice to be rapping my ass off again.
And so the latest track with Tori Kelly, or the one that you've done with Tori Kelly, that obviously throws open a massive fan base of hers, and also in the States. Was America something that you ever looked and ever wanted to try and break? I
haven't tried yet. When I battled, I did. I come second in the world, didn't it? When I beat Sirius Jones and Axel. I'd love to try America, but I don't think... I think a lot of people go wrong by going over there and trying to compete with them with their own sound, you know, and trying to adapt things to fit and to become more Americanized. And I think that's a mistake. If you're a British artist, that's, you know, your British sensibility, that's the stuff that they're going to attach themselves to and be interested by if it works. You know, there's so many amazing British artists that are doing so well over there at the moment. Adele, Sam Smith, Disclosure, Rudimental, like, people are really starting to pick up momentum over there, and it feels like a good time for British artists. I think there's a lot of attention being paid to us at the moment, which is nice. I was on a radio station in Manchester, and they were doing this thing where they were getting people to ask questions to other artists, and Nile Rodgers had a question for me about Emily. Nile Rodgers.
What, G?
Oh, I'm like, what? Like, it's mad. I can't believe that he would even know my name, you know what I mean? And it's things like that never get boring. It's always cool, you know, when Liam Gallagher come up to me at some Levi's party years ago, spun me around and went, Green. And I was like, what? Liam, you know, that's just Liam Gallagher. And he was like, I like your tones. I couldn't give up about your rapping, but I like your tones. You got good tones. Take care of your voice. Cheers, Liam.
It's nice though that you can still stay humble amongst your success. So that's really important.
Mate, stuff like that never gets boring. Like I'm a fan first and foremost, and I think that's the most important thing. Like so many people are so scared to give love, especially in such a competitive genre like rap. I think there's so much bravado and ego, and people get scared. They're like, what if I say he's wicked and then he cusses me in a song? And I don't care, man. I like what I like, and I'm not scared to say it.
Well, look, good luck with the album. Good luck with all the singles.
Thank you.
And just keep enjoying living life too. That's what it's all about.
Thank you.
Pro Green for Iron Music TV. Amazing.
Cheers, darling. Thank you
so much.